Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We are in the Area Command, up in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. It's been a beautiful day today until about 3 hours ago when it clouded up, and then we had some really terrific thunderstorms here. Thunderstorms that kept us off the air. Carol and I took our little girls, or dogs, downstairs, and for a short time we huddled in the half bath downstairs because the lightning was all around us, literally. The lightning and winds were all around us. Rain was coming down and completely blanketed the screen door on our back patio. It's incredible. When Mother Nature opens up, it opens up in a huge way. A huge way. Now, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, I want to give thanks to a lot of people, including my beautiful wife. I love her very much. I'm going to show you something that's pretty impressive, I think. It's very impressive, in fact. Just a second, I'm going to try to find it here. Oh gosh, where'd it go? I hope I still have it. I hope I have it. I guess I don't. I was going to show you a picture of Carol and I 7 years ago and Carol and I today. This is a photograph that Carol and I took yesterday to match it with the photograph that we had from 7 years ago. It was cool. The photograph from 7 years ago was us at a fireworks demonstration in Sandy, Utah. This is us in our home yesterday afternoon, right after we got through eating a huge barbecued hamburger meal. I did the barbecuing. Carol brought out the pork and beans and the chips and the dip and all sorts of good things. The veggies, we had a wonderful time yesterday. I want to thank everybody for all you've done for us. Rick Silva's here in the chat saying, "Hi y'all, hope everyone is doing well and had a wonderful day today. God bless y'all." We did. We had a wonderful day. We hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday and today. I want to thank my good wife. She's awesome. We didn't get but a few snapshots of the fireworks demonstration from last night. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, but we did. We did. I'm going to show you this. It's really impressive. Actually, we didn't. The picture that I had for you dumped on me. Oh, that's wild. The picture I was going to show you dumped on me, and so it didn't come up. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we had a good time last night. We really did. We've had a lot of fun together during the... Well, we got married on January 17th, 2017. So literally, we've been together now for 7 years. It's been great. Diane Myers says, "Hello from Rhode Island." Thank you for being here, Diane. S. Nord is here. How sweet. J. Roth is here. Clayton Farias here, de Lima. Hi, y'all from Brazil. Clayton, thank you for being here from Brazil. We've had a couple, 3 people here from Brazil before, and we loved having you here. Now, I want to tell you guys that our Demon Catman, one of my good friends from the east of England, a very good friend, a moderator of this channel, he's very sick over there in England. He's hoping to be back live and well next week. So please pray for Demon Catman. His real name is Dean, D-E-E-N. Please pray for him and pray for all those that stand in need of comfort and blessings from God. Now, I did get a card from our dear friend Virginia, and she sent a card to us today in the mail. I'm going to show you quite a bit of things that we got in the mail today. We got a care package from Linda Covington. Those of you who've seen Linda Covington here in this chat, you know she's quite a lady. A very wonderful lady. And she's contributed to this program in many ways over the past few years that she's been with us. We appreciate her very much. We appreciate all of you very much. But I want to show you some of the things we got in the mail today. Okay. First off, one of the things we got from Linda Covington, well, let's back up. We got a note from Vicky and Juan Ortega from Portland, Oregon. A beautiful card. There are many people who come and go in our lives. A few touch us in ways that change us forever, making us better for having known them. It's a beautiful card. Thank you so much, Vicky, for sending it to us. We appreciate it. Inside, she and her husband sent us some cash. We really appreciate that. She says, "Dear Ron, you made a difference in my life, and for this I'm grateful. Thanks for being you. Much love, Vicky, Virginia Ortega. It's been 2 years and 7 months since we moved from Southgate, California. We're closer to the daughter and her family. They moved to Oregon in 2011. Who would have thought Juan and I would be moving here 10 years later? Our son is still back in Los Angeles. He lives and works in downtown. I pray for his safety and that soon he'll join us in Grisham, Oregon, so we can all be together and enjoy each other's company, and most of all, prepare for what's to come. God help us all. Virginia Ortega." Thanks, Virginia, for that beautiful card, and thank you for your wonderful donation. We do appreciate it. Now, guys, I want to show you something. I keep every one of your cards and letters. In this box are the cards and letters I've gotten just this year. Just this year. We really appreciate that. Vicky, your card is going in here with all the other cards from this year. We love and appreciate all of you who continue to support us in any way that you do. God bless you for that. Now, Linda Covington also sent us a card and a care package, a rather large care package. It wasn't huge, but it was very intriguing, and it contained a lot of very cool things. Now, I want to tell you this. All of you know I love rocks, and now I have a really good rock collection thanks to Sandy in San Francisco and a couple other people that have sent us rocks from literally all over the world. Demon Catman sent us a package last week, and in that we showed you his specimens of obsidian that he sent us. Really cool obsidian rock that he sent us, including about a 15-inch obelisk that now sits on my desk. a great big huge 15-inch long obsidian obelisk. I love it. Anyway, Linda Covington also sent us a rock collection. Really cool rocks. Now, this one is from Augusta, Colorado. This is bauxite, aluminum ore. That's bauxite, aluminum ore. We have several other specimens of rocks in this bag here. These are really cool. These I'm going to add to my collection. But, something more. I want to show you this. These are Virginia rocks and minerals from the correct collection of Rudy Bland. Okay? Look at that. Aren't those cool? These are also going in my rock collection. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put these up where everybody's going to be seeing them that comes here into our office. We love it. And it's not just that. There's more, guys. There's a lot more. Linda also sent us a pen. This is a really cool pen. Let me take it out of the plastic. Carol got a big charge out of this, Linda. Carol loves this. Carol loves pens. She loves all kinds of cool pens, and this one's even cooler. This is Carol's Rooster pen. This is Carol's Rooster pen. It's cool. Thank you so much, Linda. I can't say or tell you how much Carol loves this pen. It's cool. It's very cool. But it's not all. There's more. Wait till you see this. This is one of my cherished gems that anyone has ever sent me. Rob Knobber says, love that chicken. Oh yeah, absolutely. The next rock I'm going to show you is really precious. Some of you have seen pet rocks. Some of you have been to swap meets and other community events where they've been selling pet rocks. I now have my own pet rock. I now have my own pet rock right here. Isn't that cool? I have my own pet rock. It's awesome. It's awesome. Thanks so much, Linda. That's also going to sit on my desk where everyone can see it, literally. Catherine says, that's beautiful. I agree, it is. It's absolutely stunning. But that's not all, folks. There's more. I want to show you this. These are 11 minerals and precious stones from the Bible. 11 minerals and precious stones from the Bible. This is going up on our display wall here in our office. It is really cool. Thank you so much for that. And not just that. Here is a rundown of rocks from the Bible. Minerals and gemstones from the Bible. I don't know whether Linda got this or whether she put this together for us, but is gemstones of the Bible. A list of them. This is also going up on my wall here near my minerals that I have here. Linda, we greatly appreciate that. S. North says that looks like conglomerate. It might very well be. But I again want to thank Linda Covington for sending us that care package of gems and minerals, and also for gracing me with my first honest to goodness pet rock. It is a pet rock. Okay? I don't think I've ever had a pet rock until now. My kids, as they were growing up, picked rocks up off the ground wherever we were hiking and gave them to me, said, Daddy, this is yours. And yes, I also have some of those as well. I didn't keep all of my kids' rocks that they picked up for me when we were out hiking and traveling, but I've kept a good majority of them. But anyway, I wanted to start this show off with a thank you to everybody who helps continue to support this channel and to support me. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I put out a plea to help us stay on the air. For now, I think we're fine. Our internet provider doubled the charge that they normally charge us for internet services. And yes, I have a high value broadband internet connection so we can be on the air. It takes a lot of effort to stay on the air these days. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to stay on the air so we can bring you high valued programming when things happen throughout the world. And yesterday we came on the air after we put on the 4th of July presentation. We came on the air yesterday afternoon to talk to you about a very strong earthquake, a major earthquake off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. Huge deal. Huge deal. Now, there were people that disagree with me about the strength of that quake. It's okay. It is absolutely fine to have disagreements. I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. Even some of my colleagues on YouTube and other places have disagreed with me about the strength of that quake. But after I saw what I saw and started putting all the data together, I came up with a 7.5 earthquake off the coast of Canada yesterday. I stand by that. Because we even had a 5.6 large earthquake off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia today. A 5.6. Since that time, a 5.3 and a 5.1 have also hit. USGS and the EMSC are only showing the 5.1, as well as about a dozen and a half other moderate and minor earthquakes around that area, aftershocks. I'm going to show you those right now. They've now taken about 6 or 7 of them down. Okay? This is now a 5.0 earthquake that EMSC is showing. And they're also showing 3 other aftershocks today. 3 other aftershocks. One is a 3.88, a small earthquake. This one is a 3.0, also a small earthquake. And one other one here that is a 3.45. There's also been a half dozen 4.0 and other moderate earthquakes here off the coast of British Columbia today on the Juan de Fuca Fault. We talked to you about the Juan de Fuca Fault yesterday. It happened. It's still happening. In order for these to happen, we had to have a much larger earthquake. A much larger earthquake than just a 5.3 or 5.0. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you in your comments during the past 24 hours in regards to these earthquakes. Eventually, Mike just gave us a $20 super chat saying you are amazing. He since gave us another $5 super chat. Mike, thanks so much for your support. We appreciate it. God bless you for that. Now, folks, these earthquakes are continuing to happen. I fully expect it to continue. I fully expect it to continue. Why? Because, folks, we're entering a period of time where we're going to see a cascaded megathrust earthquake. We've seen other earthquakes like I told you last night. Okay, back in 2019, Terry Rempel and I got together on Christmas Eve when we had 4 7.0 earthquakes in the same location. 4 7.0 earthquakes in the same location. Folks, we're getting to a time now where this is going to be more commonplace. Okay? I want to make it a point here. Everyone needs to be prepared. Yes, because of that earthquake yesterday, there was a small tsunami. There was a small tsunami. If that had been a 9.0 earthquake, and yes, as I pointed out last night, or yesterday afternoon, we had multiple nines listed here on the list of earthquakes that happened yesterday. Okay? Different seismic sensors recorded them differently. Different seismic sensors recorded them differently. We had up here at the top a 7.1 earthquake here. 7.1 earthquake. We continue down here, 8.8. Right below it right here, a 9.44 earthquake recorded here. A 9.44. If this had truly been a 9.0 to 10.0 earthquake, we would have seen multiple 9.0s, and we did. However, we would have seen almost all these sensors lining up to report 8.0, 9.0 earthquakes. Yes, we did have numerous that showed 9.0 or above. This one was a 9.44. We had a 9.03, a 9.89, a 9.56, and that is in just this one list here. Multiple nines that were recorded by sensors off the coast of Canada yesterday. Now, it's not just that. On the second side of the list, 8.9, 8.4, 7.9, 9.78 right there. 9.78 right there. Okay? 8.1. Then multiple sevens. Then down here at the bottom, another 8.9 earthquake right there. And that is just two lists. That is just two lists. Incredible. Incredible. I did not expect to see this yesterday, and that's exactly what happened. Heidi Petrick just gave us another $5 super chat. This time I'm able to give her an EMA sticker on her super chat. Thank you so much, Heidi. God bless you for that. We truly, truly appreciate all of your support for this channel. It means the world to me, and my wife for that matter. She loves you guys. Many times you'll see her on the chat. Occasionally, when you see her on the chat, say hi to my wife, Carol. She's a great lady. She's a really great lady. Adventuring Mike says things are heating up out there. Stay safe and get tour plans in order. I absolutely agree. Let me turn on the fan here. It is hot as blazes in here. Today we had temperatures outside that said it was at least 95 degrees. On our thermometer out on our patio, it showed 115. In our car, when we were out driving around earlier today, it said 101. Unreal. Unreal. Richard Smith over in Canada said his thermometer said 30.5 Celsius inside his room tonight. That's hot. That's hot. It's probably that hot in my office here today. My wife is in the other room talking to her daughter on the phone, so she shut our office door, so we have virtually no circulation in here at all. Incredible. Azuli 2 says, can I get a mod? We have one or two mods here. We don't have everybody here though. Okay? For one reason or another, they're not here. I know Heather's not feeling well. She's not here. Zuli, why do you need a mod? Why do you need a mod? S. North says it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit where she is. Wow. Wow, Susan, that's unreal. Oh, you want me to make you a mod? Zuli, I don't make anybody mods unless they are with our program at least 6 months or longer. I don't make anybody a mod unless they're with the program at least 6 months or longer. And then I interview you on the phone and talk with you about what you think a mod does and what we need help with. Okay? I know you say you want help, and that's fine and good. Watch this program. Contribute to others here on this program. Give us information. Okay? After a period of time when we need mods, I'll ask for mods, and then you can send me an email, and then your personal information on that email, and I'll call you, and we can sit down and talk about being a mod, what it takes to be a mod here on this channel. I've been here now 5.5 years. I think I'm a little bit aware of what it takes to be a mod, at least on this channel. Hold on, I'm taking care of something here. Okay, I just had to remove someone here from the channel because they're more concerned with other things than staying on topic with what we're talking about, and not just that, but contributing to what we are talking about. Okay? NCWQ Explorer Rebecca here says, please use manners in chat, and I'm going to echo that. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, like I said, there's more earthquakes today off the coast of Vancouver, British Columbia today. More earthquakes today. They're going to continue. After that major shock yesterday, this is only going to continue. Aftershocks after aftershocks after aftershocks. It's going to continue for quite some time. It's not going to settle down anytime soon. When we have a major shock like that, earthquake aftershocks can continue for months and even years. Okay? So that's what's happening. Anyway, there's a lot going on. Literally all around the globe. Okay? Today over in Alaska, this is the least number of earthquakes that I've seen in Alaska in a very long time. The least number of earthquakes in Alaska that I've seen in a very long time. All these earthquakes are under 4.0. There's nothing even close to a 4.0 here in Alaska. These are mostly 2.5s and a couple 3.2s, 3.4 earthquakes here in Alaska. Okay? There's virtually nothing, I'm going to show you this, there's virtually nothing over here in Denali National Park. Virtually no earthquakes today here in Denali National Park at all. I've never seen that happen. In all my days, I've never seen that happen. It's crazy. Okay? Now, they may have happened, but the agency didn't show them. The agency didn't show them. Anyway, that was Alaska. I'm going to go over now to Japan. The North Island of Hokkaido, Japan. We have a large 5.0 earthquake here. Now, there are people that live here in Hokkaido. This earthquake probably shook them up a lot. This earthquake probably shook those people up a lot. A 5.0 can be a very damaging quake as well. But the people in Japan here are very well suited to earthquakes. They've had a lot of earthquakes over their lifetime, and Japan is very well suited for earthquakes. They have stringent building codes in Japan. So this earthquake shook them up, but probably did very little damage. It was only a 5.0 large quake. They can still do damage there. Over off the coast of Honshu, Japan. Kamisu, Ibaraki, Japan, we had a 3.5 earthquake right here. 3.5 earthquake here near Numishu, Irabaki, Japan. Over on the western side of Japan, this near Obama-Fukui, Japan. This is a 3.1 earthquake right there. a 3.1 earthquake right there. Okay, we don't usually get a lot of earthquakes on the western side. However, earlier this year we did have a very damaging earthquake over here. I'm going to show you that. Okay, this is Noto, the peninsula of Noto, Japan here. Earlier this year we had an 8.4 earthquake that struck right here. Over 300 people killed, over 300 people injured from that earthquake. A very strong, very deadly earthquake. An 8.4 earthquake right here. Okay? Western side of Japan. Now we have had earthquakes over here in the Philippines. We've had some 3.4s, 4.2, 4.5 earthquakes here in the Philippines. Okay? All the way down here. Just off the coast of northeastern Mindanao, Philippines, we had a 3.7 right there. A 3.7. Okay? Just south of there. Governor Generoso, Japan, or Philippines. Governor Generoso, Philippines, this is a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. Now, while I'm showing you this, there's another story I want to talk about here in the Philippines. Yes, they do get earthquakes. Guess what else happened in the past 24 hours in the Philippines? China ran into some of Philippines' ships. Chinese ships ran into and damaged Filipino ships. And yes, there were some Filipinos who were injured as a result of this provocation by China. China has been in the Philippine seas before. China has told Philippines to stay out of their territorial waters. The Philippines haven't been in territorial waters at all. The Philippine Navy and other ships, and I'm talking about fishing ships as well, they've not been in Chinese territorial waters. They basically have stayed within Filipino waters. But yesterday, the Chinese invaded Philippines, basically. They rammed their Chinese ships into Filipino ships, causing damage and injury to some of those ships. The United States Navy is also there to help protect Filipino interests. So China is flexing its muscles in the Philippines now. We told you how over in the area of Taiwan, this area around Taiwan, Chinese ships and naval forces have surrounded Taiwan here. Chinese naval and Air Force men and women in planes and boats have surrounded Taiwan. They want to take Taiwan. They haven't done it yet. There was talk last year that at the beginning of this year, China would invade Taiwan. There was talks of Taiwan being invaded in April and May, and in June, and again this month. Still, China has not invaded Taiwan yet, but they've been flexing their muscle, putting ships and Air Force around Taiwan. Now, China has also said that Taiwan is a territory of China. No, it's not. Taiwan has never been a territory of China. It was a territory of Britain. But China wants Taiwan. China wants Taiwan in the worst way. And they're flexing their muscle around Taiwan. They're flexing their muscle around the Philippines as well. Do we know what they're doing? We're watching it. We're being very careful. We're going to continue to be very careful because we are not going to allow them to hurt our people in Taiwan. And yes, there are Americans. There are Brits in Taiwan as well. There are Taiwanese citizens that we, the United States, are also helping to assist them in their lives and freedoms. The United States of America has always stood by its allies, regardless of the dirtbag who's in control right now. We have always protected our allies. We're going to continue to do that. We will protect our allies in the Far East. Okay? We're going to protect our allies in the Far East. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Now, with that said, we show you earthquakes here in the Philippines. We go over here into Indonesia. Okay? Here in Indonesia. Over here in Sumatra, Indonesia, we've had 3 earthquakes here. Up in the north of Sumatra, we had a 4.77 moderate earthquake there. USGS and some of these other agencies call these light earthquakes. They are not light earthquakes. They are moderate earthquakes, and moderate earthquakes do cause moderate damage. Now, this earthquake was off the coast of Sumatra. This was off the coast of Sumatra, and the waters of the Indian Ocean absorbed the shock waves from this quake. This quake did not cause any damage, a moderate earthquake. This earthquake over here in north central Sumatra is a 3.2 small earthquake. There's no damage from that. This earthquake was felt by the Indonesian people here in Sumatra. A 3.2 small earthquake there. On the southern part of Sumatra, this is a completely different story. This is a 4.9 5.0 earthquake here. A 4.9 5.0 earthquake just off the coast of southern Sumatra. This was felt. This was felt. Because it was just off the coast, I don't believe there was any damage here in Sumatra. However, everyone needs to know that people here in Indonesia do not have the building codes that we have here in the United States of Britain or Canada, or even Japan. When a big earthquake hits here, things happen, and people get killed. This was a large earthquake here. A 4.9, 5.0 large earthquake here in southern Sumatra, just off the coast here. Just barely off the coast, right there. Okay? Now, we go over here into south central Indonesia here. We have 4 earthquakes here. We show you these earthquakes in the Philippines. Usually all over Indonesia we have tons of earthquakes. That's not the case today. We have a total of 8 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. These earthquakes in Indonesia here are 3.7, 2.6, 2.8, 3.5, 3.1, and another 3.5 there. Okay? A total of 9 earthquakes here in Indonesia. Usually they have anywhere between 25 and 40 earthquakes here in Indonesia. Today they don't have but a handful. Okay? Now, we do not have any earthquakes here in Papua New Guinea at all. We don't have any earthquakes here in Papua New Guinea here. Usually we have 4 or 5 earthquakes here, and these earthquakes are anywhere between a 4.2 to a 6.0 here in Papua New Guinea. Okay? However, we continue going over to the east. This time over in Fiji. This is a 4.0 in Fiji. 4.0 here in Fiji. It happened in the Pacific Ocean here, and the ocean waters absorbed the shock waves of this quake. A 4.0 does not do much of anything. 4.0 is just a moderate quake. Okay? Down here is a different story. This is New Zealand. We have people from New Zealand here in our chat. Okay? All the time we get here people from New Zealand here in the chat. Just north of the Bay of Plenty. This is a 3.27 earthquake. Small earthquake. Again, it's out in the open ocean, and the ocean waters absorb the shock waves of that quake, and it's small. Nothing is going to happen from that earthquake at all. We go over into the Bay of Plenty here. Some people refer to the Bay of Plenty as a catcher's mitt. It does look much like a catcher's mitt right here. You can see it. It does look like a baseball catcher's mitt. Folks, this is nothing. This is another this in this case is a 2.64 earthquake. Here in the Bay of Plenty here, we have a 2.64, a 2.39, and a 2.2 in the Bay of Plenty here. Okay? Then we go over to the east side of the North Island. This is a little bit different story. In this case, we have a 2.44 earthquake here, and going south here near Gisborne, New Zealand, we have a 2.2, and just barely up the coast is another 2.37. Now, you need to know this. For those of you that live here in New Zealand, scientists are now saying this is one of the largest subduction zones here in New Zealand. We are going to see in the next 50 years, 25 to 50 years, an 8.0 earthquake that's going to hit here off the coast of the North Island, New Zealand. An 8.0 major earthquake. An 8.0 major earthquake. This is a subduction zone. A subduction zone, guys. What happens when we have a subduction? The tectonic plates go underneath each other just like this. And that's exactly what we're going to have here. The Pacific plate going underneath the Austro-Indonesian plate. Just like this. That is why we have earthquakes here in New Zealand. But this is only a small part of the subduction area. The subduction area includes all of New Zealand. It continues, it also encompasses all of Australia here, all of Indonesia. It also encompasses all the way over here into Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam area here, and Myanmar. 7 different plates, 7 different tectonic plates, one subducting under the other. That's what's happening here. That is why we see so many earthquakes here in this area. One tectonic plate subducting under the other here. That's what's happening. That is exactly what's happening. Does anybody have any questions for me so far? Does anybody have any questions for me? Harry says Harry's in the chat saying he's not a troll. But please, if you're not a troll, stay on topic with what we're saying here. Please stay on topic with what I'm talking about. We want everybody to be here on topic, understanding what I'm saying. If you're not talking about what we're talking about, you're not understanding what we're doing here. You're not keeping up and you're not getting anything out of it. I want to make sure we are here together for a reason, that we are preparing for a worst case scenario. And it is happening. It is happening. We're seeing it happen every day. That's why we're here every day on the air. Again, I want to show you all these earthquakes in New Zealand. Look at that. All up and down the North and the South Island here in New Zealand. Probably 25 earthquakes here. I haven't counted them recently, but I believe there's probably 25 earthquakes here in New Zealand. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 15 earthquakes here in New Zealand today. 15 earthquakes. And for those of you who don't know, over here on the central part of the North Island of New Zealand, we have a lake right here. How many of you knew that this is a supervolcano here in New Zealand? It's called Taupo Lake, or Taupo Volcano. A supervolcano here in New Zealand. And occasionally, we do get earthquakes around it. For example, this one. This is over on the northwestern side of the volcano. This is a 2.53 earthquake. A 2.53 earthquake just off the northwest side of Topo Lake, Topo Volcano. Sometimes we get earthquakes at the volcano, sometimes any part around the volcano together. These earthquakes are volcanic related. Okay? Incredible. Incredible. Anyway, we've had some people in New Zealand, and I wanted to cover what's going on there. It's important that we talk about it. It's important we understand what's happening. Now, USGS today only shows 2 or 3 earthquakes in South America. The truth of the matter is there are about 30 earthquakes here along the coastal areas of South America. 30 earthquakes here. USGS shows us 3 or 4. They will never admit to earthquakes. They don't want to admit anything that's going on. Yes, occasionally they will report a large earthquake or even a larger earthquake than 5.0. But they will never admit to everything going on. They don't want to post what's happening. But the EMSC, the European agency, does. The European agency does publish about 90% of the earthquakes around the globe. Now, down here in just off the coast of South America, this is only a 2.5 minor earthquake. 2.5 minor earthquake. However, as we go north, those earthquakes increase. This is in the border. The next earthquake I'm going to show you is in the border area of Chile and Argentina. San Juan Province, Argentina. A 4.9, 5.0 earthquake right there. It's in the Andes Mountains. It's in the Andes Mountains here, right there. 4.9, 5.0 large earthquake today. 4.9, 5.0 earthquake here. Now, I'm going to zoom in here to show you where it's at. Look at that. There are no communities anywhere near this earthquake. However, it doesn't change the attitude about what's happening. Because if you are over along the coastal areas of Chile, you're still going to feel that quake. Along the coastal areas of Chile, you're going to still feel that quake. You're also going to feel that quake out here on the Pampas, in the ranch farmer area of Argentina. It's a large 5.0 earthquake here. South of there, we have some more, well, south and west of there, we have a 2.6 minor earthquake there. It's very unlikely that anybody's going to even feel a minor earthquake, let alone a 2.6. But south of there, this is a 3.2. It's a small quake. People feel 3.2s all day long. Just south and east of there, there's also a 3.0 earthquake here. People are going to feel that quake as well. Okay? Let's go north. Northern Chile and Argentina here, we have some earthquakes, don't we? There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 earthquakes right here. Okay? South, from the south. 2.9, Salé Province. Antofagasta, Chile, we have a 3.7. Fascinating, huh? However, let's go up here. Jujuy, Argentina, at the border area of Chile and Argentina. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake there. That is felt. It's in the Andes Mountains here, and people felt it all over that area. It's in the area, border region of Argentina and Chile. Okay? Let's go north. Kicks and giggles. 2.7. 3.0. I'm not going to hit every earthquake here, but I want you to have a flavor of what happens here. Okay? 3.0 going north. 3.1. And another 2.5 in Parca, Tarapacá, Chile. That's a 3. We go further north. Southern Peru. Arequipa, Peru. Here's another 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 moderate earthquake right there. We go further north. This is also in the farm-rich area of Peru on the eastern side of the Andes Mountains. This is a 3.9, 4.0 earthquake right there. North of there, this is Ecuador, Guayas, Ecuador. This is another 3.9, 4.0 right there. They are not reporting any other earthquakes here in Colombia, and they're not reporting any earthquakes here in Venezuela. None at all. Okay? In South America, look at these earthquakes in South and Central America here. This is Central America. Going up into Mexico here. Going up into Mexico. USGS is not showing any of these earthquakes here. Nothing. Not anything there. Not anything. Why? That's what everybody wants to know. Why do they not show those? Further up here in southern Mexico, we have a 4.1 there. A moderate 4.1 earthquake. Guess what? Where it's at? This particular earthquake is on the San Andreas Fault right there. This is San Andreas Fault right there. Southern Mexico. Okay? Incredible, huh? I want to show you something. USGS is not showing any earthquakes in Europe. Look at the earthquakes in Europe. Look at the earthquakes in Europe. 2 of them here in Norway. 2 earthquakes here in Norway. This one is in Sweden. There was 1 other earthquake in Sweden, and it appears they took it down. This earthquake is in Holland County, Sweden. It's a 1.5 tremor. 1.5 tremor right there in Holland, Sweden. Okay? Crazy, huh? How about over here in Iceland? Off the southern coast of the Reykjanes Peninsula, we have some small and minor earthquakes right here. This is the Reykjanes Peninsula. Right here is where we've had volcanic action here. The volcanic action has resumed. The fissures have opened up again here in the Reykjanes Peninsula here, and we have active magma here, active lava. Okay? Iceland is erupting again. Iceland is erupting again. Over off the north coast of Iceland, Grimsey Island, Iceland, there's a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake there, and also in Flatey Island, Iceland, another 2.0 earthquake. Why are we having earthquakes here in Iceland, guys? Why? It's not just volcanic action. What do we have here? This is the Mid-Atlantic Fault that has cut Iceland in half here. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is cutting Iceland here in half. It's spreading. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. It's pushing this part of Iceland east. It's pushing this part of Iceland west. At some point in time, there will be 2 separate islands here in Iceland, because the Mid-Atlantic Fault is separating that part of this country. It's separating. At some point in time, there's going to be 2 pieces of Icelandic island. Okay? The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault starts down here in the Antarctic region. This is the South Mid-Atlantic right here. We go up here, this is the North Mid-Atlantic here. We go up here. This is the northern part of the Mid-Atlantic. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an eastward direction. However, what's it doing here? It's pushing North America and Mexico in a southwesterly direction. Pushing North America and Mexico in a southwesterly direction. This is Canada, Quebec, Canada. We had an earthquake here. This is Port Cartier, Quebec, Canada. This is a 1.14 tremor here. A 1.14 tremor here. Unreal. But they're still not showing all the earthquakes here. They're not showing any of the earthquakes here on the east coast of the United States. Why not? Because heaven forbid they were truthful about what's happening. Up and down the entire east coast of North America, we're having earthquakes. Anywhere from 1.2 tremors all the way up to 4.5, 4.8 earthquakes, all up and down the east coast of North America. This next week I will be showing you these earthquakes. I will be showing you these earthquakes. I didn't this week because we've had so much other stuff going on, but you need to see these earthquakes. You're going to be totally amazed when I start showing you 4.0 earthquakes here in North Carolina, right here, where I live. 4.0 earthquakes happening here in North Carolina. Unreal. Unreal. Over here, southwestern Texas, we're continuously swarming of earthquakes here. Why? We have oil and gas fracking operations. Oil and gas fracking operations here in southwestern Texas. Every time we have a drill point, every time where we have a drill point where we've drilled for oil here in Texas and Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas, guess what? All of these drill points are homemade, man-made earthquakes. Man-made earthquake faults. That is why we have so many earthquakes here in Texas. Man-made earthquake faults. Man-made earthquake faults. Then we come up here into California. Come up here into California, we have more earthquakes. Some of those earthquakes, like right here, are man-made earthquake faults. And this place right here is called the Geysers geothermal facility. The geysers here happened when man started drilling into the upper magma chambers of a volcano. The same thing applies there. The same thing applies here in the geysers area. Right here is the volcano right there, Clear Lake volcano. They started drilling into the upper magma chambers of this volcano to obtain steam to power turbines to generate electricity for 4 energy conglomerates, one of them being Pacific Gas and Electric, another being Rocky Mountain Power that gives power to Utah. We get earthquakes here. Each one of these drill points, the seismic energy seeks out the drill points and it causes rocks to fracture at these drill points. The same thing applies to oil and gas. Same thing applies to oil and gas. But this is why we get so many earthquakes here in the geysers. 30 plus earthquakes happen here every day. Every day. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It happens. It happens. Over near San Francisco, Loyola, California, on the San Andreas Fault, there's a 1.5 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. Yes, there are more earthquakes than this, but this is only what they're showing here. And this is a European agency reporting this. This is Monterey Bay. South of Monterey Bay, we have these earthquakes here. Guess where they're at? We've shown you this before. This is the Pinnacles. Pinnacles, California. This is a geothermal area as well. But this time, they're pumping oil and gas out of the fault. They're pumping oil and gas out of that fault. The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. Tremors up here on the San Andreas Fault right there. South of there, This is San Bernardino, California. This is a 1.33 earthquake. 1.33 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. It's going. It's going. It's going to continue to go. It's not going to stop. It is not going to stop. Brian Carey is saying that there was a 7.2 earthquake in Peru. I've not seen that. Let's go back down to South America. I want to see that. A 7.2 earthquake in Peru. I'm not seeing it yet. I reported that one over near San Martin, Peru, over just on the east side of the Andes Mountains. That is a 3.9, 4.0 earthquake there. Further south, Arequipa, Peru is a 4.5. So they're not showing a 7.2 earthquake yet in Peru. If it happens, they'll show it to us. If it happens, they'll show it to us. But California, from the south part of California, San Diego, the Imperial Valley, at the Mexican border, and everything north of there up and through Los Angeles County and Orange County is going to experience a 7.0 or large earthquake. It's coming. It is coming. Guaranteed, cotton picking tea. It is coming. I don't know when, but it's going to come. And it's going to come when nobody expects it. It's going to come when nobody expects it. They always do. April 3rd, 2010, at the southern border, we had a 7.1 earthquake. Mexicali and Calexico, Mexicali at the border in Mexico, and Calexico on the north side of the border in California. A 7.1 earthquake happened April 3rd, 2010. It shook buildings all over Southern California, including San Diego. There in the Imperial Valley where the earthquake occurred, it caused major damage. The earthquake was said to have occurred on what they call the Guadalupe, Victoria area here, on the southern side of the border. Guadalupe, Victoria area here on the southern area of Mexico. Not southern area of Mexico, but the southern side of the U.S.-Mexican border. That earthquake is felt all the way up into northern Los Angeles, and all the way out into the desert in Nevada, and all the way over into Arizona as well. That happens. That happens. Now guys, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. They are still not showing us all of the earthquakes in Southern California. They're showing us quite a few earthquakes here in Southern California, but they're not showing everything. There are 500 or 600 earthquakes just right here in Southern California. They're not showing all of them here. But we are going to have a major earthquake here in Southern California, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Julius, you're not staying on topic. You're not staying on topic. I removed your message. I'm not talking about pedos. I'm not talking about that. If you don't have a topic that we're talking about, don't bother getting on this channel. Don't bother getting on this chat. Well, I don't tolerate child rape, and I don't tolerate rape of women or girls. I don't tolerate it. That's not what we're talking about right now. Okay? Shemaine Edwards is from the Caribbean island, and she saw oil coming out of the ground, and the closest island was Montserrat. She's asking a question. Is if it ever indicates where the oil is, will it cause more eruption? Possibly. Yes, possibly it will. If you saw it, there's a very good possibility it will continue. And it might not just be oil. There's probably magma down beneath that area as well. Montserrat area is a volcano. Montserrat has erupted before and it's going to erupt again. Okay? We've seen it happen. Now, by the way, guys, we still have a lot of activity down there in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, while this is not a hurricane map, this is not a hurricane map at all. We have had a hurricane that came out of the Caribbean Sea. It has worked its way up here just between just between northern Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. Yucatan Peninsula got hit. It got hit bad. Now, I don't have any reports out of Cuba here, but I'm sure the outer bands of Hurricane BERYL hit Cuba as well. I do have videos showing what's going on here in Mexico here, in the Yucatan Peninsula. I want to show you that now. This is a storm chaser named Brandon Clement down there in Yucatan Peninsula. He was in the eye wall of BERYL in Mexico this morning. This was a service station that the hurricane hit. This is Cancun, Mexico, today. Flights have been canceled all over, both on the northern side of the border in Texas and various parts of the United States, but down here in Mexico as well. The flights are canceled until the authorities can get the aircraft back up and running. They have to check the runways as well to make sure the runways are capable of launching aircraft into the air.
As we step into the very beginning of the week, Sunday night into Monday, and it's already brought heavy rain to the Yucatan Peninsula. One of the key cities that will be impacted will be Corpus Christi. So Jace Johnson is Emergency Management Coordinator for the city of Corpus Christi. Jace, thanks so much for joining us here this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Jason. As you track BERYL's progress, I know we're early on in this, but what are your teams preparing for?
Well, like the meteorologist said on your show there, that we're planning for the winds and the rain. And so, our main priorities right now are making sure that we get the message out to the public, to be aware, to be watching the weather and listening for messages from us with press releases and social media. But we have, all of our departments have emergency response plans, and they are activating them. We always, plan for the next level up. So right now, I guess the forecast right now is a Category 1. So we're planning for that and more, and making sure that we're ready to go when it hits landfall.
Every city has certain areas that might be more vulnerable than others, whether it be because of flood concerns or wind or what have you. So what aspects or parts of the Corpus Christi area are you most concerned about with this?
Well, right now we're going into a holiday, weekend, and so we have a lot of visitors in our area and a lot of beachgoers. So we're working to get the message out to those that are on the beaches, to be aware. On Saturday we will be, taking down lifeguard stands and things like that could, be damaged in the storms, and getting the message out to, get out of the beach areas in the low-lying areas, and those in the communities around, the beaches that are residents. Just be aware and watch the weather and watch the messaging and plan and take care of it accordingly.
And every storm is a learning experience, whether it's firsthand or maybe you learn from others in other parts of the southeast coast. As we've had many learning experiences from recent storms in the past decade, is there one thing that you do differently now that may not have been in practice 10 years ago?
Really, communications is the key, right? Because now with all the technology that we have, more time on our hands, to understand that, what a storm is doing, and so we have time to plan. And really the key message is for your families, to have a plan. What are you going to do? Stay abreast of the news that's out there through social media. We encourage our community to register with reversalert.org and just be aware and make sure that you have a plan with whatever the weather is going to give us.
Absolutely. If you have a plan in place that can make the moment when you're faced with severe weather a lot less stressful, when you can just act on the plan you have. Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of Corpus Christi, Jace Johnson. Jace, thanks so much for joining us here on AccuWeather.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about Hurricane BERYL? Okay. We've been trying to keep up on Hurricane BERYL since it first happened earlier on Monday. Since it first hit over in the southeastern Caribbean on Monday. Hit the Leeward Islands. There was a lot of damage in the Leeward Islands and the Windward Islands around Grenada as well. There's now been a total of 9 people killed as a result of Hurricane BERYL since it first became a hurricane as a Category 1. It's now a Category 3 hurricane, and it's come right between Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. Yes, it got partially over land. The category of the hurricane went down from Category 5 to Category 2, back up to 3, and that's where it is right now, a Category 3 storm. This can increase after it's in the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Okay? Rebecca says it's a tropical storm now. It's in the Gulf of Mexico and the warmer waters, and it will increase in strength. I promise you it will increase in strength. Does anybody have any questions? Harry Fodder is asking how many categories are there? Right now there are 5. Category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Category 5 is about 155 mile per hour winds, sustained. 155 mile per hour winds, sustained. Hurricane Category 5. Anybody have any questions so far? Anybody have any questions so far? Karen says, pray for all those in the path of the storm. I totally agree. We need to. Pray for Corpus Christi. Pray for Brownsville, Texas, and northeastern Mexico. Those areas are going to get hit heavy. Very heavy. Okay? Those areas are going to get hit heavy starting Saturday night into Sunday morning. Okay, then the category storm is going to go down to a tropical storm and then to a tropical depression. And then that storm will break up and it will move to the northeast. Okay, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Just a second, I'm having to take care of an issue here. Gotta have people who are gonna cause problems. Gotta have people who are gonna cause problems. Okay, as we've done in the past, during the past few days, I'm going to talk about what's happening in the United States, because it's not just going to affect people here in this country, but it's also going to affect people around the world. We have a lot of problems here. We have a lot of problems with the President of the United States here in the United States. President Biden is an elderly man. Now, I don't agree with his politics. I do not agree with the Democrat politics. However, I feel sorry for him. President Biden is an elderly man. President Biden is being paraded around by his wife, Jill. I believe she's being controlled, or he is being controlled by his wife, Jill. Right now, she's trying to negotiate with the powers that be within the Democratic Party to keep her husband in power. To keep her husband in power. Now, how long is it going to be? We don't know. We don't know how long it's going to be that he will be in power. After his debate last week, people thought that he would have to resign. His own followers have tried to get him to resign. Right now, his wife is keeping him in the presidency. His own followers are also trying to keep him in the presidency. Now, excuse me, I've got some drainage because of allergies and the rain and stuff. What's happening with President Biden? He was brought into Camp David on Monday and Tuesday this week. Last week before the debate, he had been at Camp David also practicing how to debate President Trump. They brought him back over to Camp David, and former President Barack Obama was at Camp David. Barack Obama's wife was also at Camp David. Many other leaders in the Democrat Party were at Camp David. What's happening? They are trying to see what they can do to take Biden off the election ticket, to take Biden out of the election completely. Now, as I reported during the past few days, they don't want Biden any longer. He's inept. I say that in the kindest manner right now. I'm talking in the kindest manner that I know right now. He's inept. He is not able to do the job as President of the United States. That is why I'm saying he's inept. He can no longer do the job as a functioning president here in this country. He's not able to do it. He has what they call dementia. Day by day, his dementia gets worse. When he first took over as President of the United States in 2020, he had quite a function that he could still be president. But day after day, the pressures of the presidency and his own health have taken a toll against him. Now he's not even able to make decisions. People in his administration are making decisions for him. He can't make decisions for himself. He is only lucid between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. After that, he is either in bed or he is incapable of functioning as a president of the United States. So the Democrats now have a job ahead of them to either remove him and find somebody else before the upcoming Democrat National Convention in Chicago. or completely abolishing the Democrat National Convention completely. That is one of the options on the table. That is one of the options on the table. There are two other options. There are two other options. Now, since I decided to talk about politics, I've had a number of you who dropped off the channel. You're no longer watching our channel. I'm sorry about that. Now, there's two gamuts, two other decisions that are being made. Number one, the Obama gambit. The Obama gambit has Michelle Obama running for president. Now, if the Democrats take Biden off the ticket and put up Michelle Obama does not want to be president. 2 years ago, she was asked if she would run for president, and she said absolutely not. This is turned into a different story. We still do not know whether Michelle Obama will run for president. This Obama gambit is this. Michelle Obama runs for president. Will she win against President Trump? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. There's two things that this would do for the Democrat Party. Two things. A black woman at that, running for president. There has been no other woman that's ever run for president against anybody. Would she possibly gain voters being a woman and being a black woman at that? Yes. That's a possibility. But given what we know right now, Michelle doesn't want the job. And it looks like right now President Trump would beat her hands down. But this goes deeper. Michelle Obama would run for president, and Barack Obama would be vice president. Then, if Michelle wins, Michelle steps down. And then Barack Obama becomes president of the United States for the third time. Is it possible? Yes. It is possible. Is it legally possible? No. No. I believe it was the 26th Amendment, says that no president can run for 3 terms. No president can run for 3 terms. But President Obama wouldn't be running except as a vice president. The president steps down and he becomes president again. Okay? That is one gamut. That's one possibility. Let's look at another possibility here. This is called the Rockefeller president. Back in the Nixon administration, President Nixon had a man named Agnew, who was his vice president. Vice President Agnew ran for vice president with Nixon as the president. In 1974, Richard Nixon got himself in some trouble. Richard Nixon had to resign. And President Ford took over as president. Agnew had to step down because he got himself in trouble. Nixon appointed Ford, who was the Speaker of the House, as Vice President of the United States. Then Nixon got into trouble and President Ford took over. In this particular situation, guys, please hang in here with me so I can explain this to you. In this case, it's the Rockefeller gambit. When President Ford was president of the United States, there was a senator named Rockefeller, Nelson Rockefeller. Nelson Rockefeller became President Ford's vice president. Hang in here. Kamala Harris would resign. Biden would have Harris resign. Biden then appoints Hillary Clinton as vice president. Biden steps down, and Hillary Clinton becomes President of the United States. With Hillary Clinton as President of the United States, she needs a Vice President, doesn't she? She then appoints either Gavin Newsom from California or the Governor of Michigan as the Vice President. Yes, Hillary wants to be president. Hillary has always wanted to be president. Hillary got beat out by President Trump. In this case here, Biden would stay on the ticket. Trump would beat Biden hands down. Trump would be beating Biden hands down. But if, say, in some small case that the Democrats did what they did in 2020, and they altered documents, they altered ballots, and Biden remains as president, he could force Kamala Harris to resign, appointing Hillary as vice president. Then Biden himself would step down. Hillary Clinton would become president of the United States and appoint either Governor Newsom from California or the governor of Michigan as vice president. Now, this could happen either before the convention, during the convention, or after the convention. This scenario here could happen before the Democrat convention, during the convention, or after the convention. But this could happen. Is it possible? Yes. Any of these things could be possible. But right now, President Biden does not want to step down. They don't want to step down. In any case, we're in trouble. In any case, we are in trouble. Why are we in trouble? Can anybody tell me why we in the United States are in trouble? Can anybody tell me why we as citizens of the United States are in real trouble? There is not any leader throughout the world that says that Biden is a good president. There is no leader anywhere around this world that accepts Biden as the president of the United States. They consider him weak. They consider him inept. They consider the United States to be out of control. They consider the United States to be out of control. Karen is asking, Ron, if that would happen, what is your thoughts on it? I'll tell you something. I just found something else out today. I just pointed out those two gambits that the Democrats could do. However, President Trump has been president once before now. I just found out that if all hell starts breaking loose, Obama would be thrown out of office, literally. Obama would be thrown out of office. In which case, Trump would be the president-elect because he had once already been president and he's already had in the polls. So President Trump would be put in as president of the United States. And immediately, President Trump would assume command. President Trump would assume command. Biden would go away. Aubrey Layton is asking Biden question mark. Biden at that point would go away completely. He'd be thrown out of the presidency. Now, a lot of things would have to happen for that to occur. One of the things would be President Putin of Russia launching an attack against the United States or threatening to launch an immediate attack on the United States. Putin has already threatened to launch an attack against the U.S. He's not followed through. Now, there's something else here. Roblax is asking English or Spanish. You need to speak English here in the chat. There can be no other language spoken here in the chat, only English. Okay? All hell would be having to break loose here in America. All hell would have to be breaking loose. Then Trump, being the president with the power, okay, he's already winning the pre-election. His numbers are better than Biden, better than Newsom, better than Kamala Harris, better than Hillary. Trump would automatically assume the presidency. Okay? It's never been done. And yes, there would be a Supreme Court hearing about it. But with the Supreme Court as it's presently constituted, Trump would probably be ratified as the 47th President of the United States. I'm just saying. I watched it. I've been watching the numbers. I've been watching everything going on. I've watched the politicians at it in Washington. I've been watching the politicians at it in D.C. D.C. is the most polluted area of the country. Washington, D.C. is the most polluted area of the country. Politicians are already at their own throats. Between the politicians at their own throats and threatening this United States with complete annihilation, President Trump is the only one with any kind of experience to try to turn it off. And President Trump has already said that he would stop the Ukraine-Russian war. He would stop it before he even took power. He would stop it before he would even take power. Now, there's something else you need to know. Okay? As with Ukraine. Ukraine, as you know, has problems. Tons of problems. Okay? Because of Ukraine's problems, and President Zelensky being in the middle of it, Ukraine will never become a member of NATO. Ukraine is not a member of NATO, and Ukraine will never become a member of NATO. Not now, not ever. Zelensky is up to his eyeballs in trouble, and he knows it. Zelensky has been playing Biden as a fiddle, asking more and more billions of dollars out of Biden, and Biden has given it to him. Since Biden was a vice president of the United States, Zelensky wanted money. The country of Ukraine wanted money. Biden was a vice president under Obama. Biden told the politicians there in Ukraine that unless Ukraine got rid of their attorney general, they would never get the money. Well, guess what? Ukraine fired their attorney general, and Biden talked Obama into giving Zelensky money. This has been going on for heaven and a day. It's been going on forever. Now Biden and Zelensky and Hunter Biden are in it up to their ears. Hunter Biden has been following his dad along and all around like a wounded puppy. Hunter Biden has been following Daddy along since the debate like a wounded puppy. Biden cannot be alone by himself at all, without Hunter or Jill by his side. Hunter has been following his daddy along like a wounded puppy. Joseph Biden cannot make any decisions by himself. Hunter Biden or Jill has been in the meetings with Biden himself. Possibly even to the extent that Hunter Biden himself has been making decisions or telling his father what to do. Fact. This is what's going on. This is a bad omen. This is a very bad omen. And things are only getting worse. So this is what's happening. I've been watching it. I've been trying to put 2 and 2 together, and it's only come up with 5. Because the Democrats are running around with their heads cut off. The Democrats thought they had control, and now they have found out that they do not have control of anything. They don't know where their next dollar or meal is coming from, but they are hoping to stay in power. This is a power gambit. This whole issue with the presidency is a power gambit. That is why Biden and Obama had invited all these millions of people to come through the southern border so they could get people to vote. Non-government agencies promoted by Biden and our federal government have been signing illegals up to vote. The Biden administration, through their gifted way, have gotten these non-governmental agencies to sign up illegals to vote. It's against the law. Biden has also offered an executive order allowing these illegals to vote. It's sick. But this is exactly what has happened. We don't know if these illegals will even vote. However, we know the Democrat Party has signed up dead people to vote. They went out into the cemeteries and got people's information off of headstones and signed people up to vote. It's a fact. It's a fact. It has happened. Some people have even voted 3, 4, 5, or 10 times each. So what is going on with these illegals? We don't know. Is the Democrat Party, through these non-governmental organizations, the NGOs, taking these voter registrations and getting them ready, putting their names on ballots and getting ready to submit those ballots in Joe Biden's name? Possibly. They've gotten away with it before. Folks, I'm telling you, I've done my research. And I'm not the only one that's done research. You can go over to one of my friends' pages on YouTube. Stephen Gardner. Stephen Gardner, Gardenner. Stephen Gardner, Nar. Go over to his channel. Watch some of the videos he's put up. It's amazing information what he's got people on his channel to say. It's proving my point. It's proving my point. I have also been watching these news shows on Sunday, watching what the Democrat Party is doing. It doesn't surprise me one little bit. This is what the Democrat Communist Party is trying to do. They invited all these illegals to come up from the south of the border and come from all these other countries into Mexico and come through the southern border. It's not just to get people to vote. We have terrorists from 129 countries around the world. Terrorists from other countries. Other countries have also liquidated their prisons and let these prisoners come from the prisons and come into the United States. Like I said in the past on this program, I've also watched cameras from the border area showing illegals, undocumented aliens crossing the border. And they're not being caught by our Border Patrol or Customs Border Protection. They're called gotaways. These gotaways are carrying weapons. They're carrying military-style weapons across the border. Biden says, oh, it didn't happen. I call BS. I've seen the video footage. These people coming across the border are ready to attack us citizens here in the United States. It's not just that. We have one of the wickedest gangs in Venezuela. One of the most deadly gangs in Venezuela that have been let loose from Venezuela and have made their way into the United States. And they have committed crimes. We've had MS-13 from Mexico, one of the deadliest gangs in Mexico that have come here into the United States gotaways, causing crimes. They now call it migrant crime. Migrant crime is out of control. Migrant crime is out of control, guys. We have had more of our citizens and children murdered by these gang members than anybody. We've had more and more of our citizens murdered here on our side of the border than has ever happened before. And not just that. There are other troubles brewing, and we know that. In some cases, we are being told there's a civil war in progress, or a civil war that's about to begin. But it's not just that. In Los Angeles last night, there were people that were gunned down in Los Angeles that were celebrating Independence Day. In Chicago, there was a man that was DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol. It's reported that he was not an illegal alien. It was reported that. But he drove down a side street through Chicago, up over a curb into the grass, and ran down 9 people. Ran down 9 people, killing 2 of them. Firefighters and medics had to jack that truck up in the air. It was a Ford F-150 truck. They had to put airbags and other jacks underneath that truck to lift it up into the air to get to the victims. 2 of those victims died in Chicago. In the past week and a half, I've reported to you crime in New York caused by these same gang members that came across the border. These gang members holding semi-automatic weapons, military-style weapons that have hijacked police officers, hijacked police cars with military-style weapons. You tell me what's wrong with this picture. It must be stopped. It must be stopped, and the only way we can stop it is getting someone in as president to get these people out of our country. And President Trump has promised to do that on day 1. Rounding up these people and transporting them back where they came from. Back where they came from. New York, on the other hand, has already told some of these migrants, you have to leave our state. There is no more room in New York for these gang members. And the state of New York is putting people on planes and transporting them back to countries where they came from. But they have to sign a document before they leave that they will never come back. Incredible. Richard Smith has seen it happen in Canada. My buddy Dave that we had as a co-host of my program on Wednesday night, he's also seen this. It's happening everywhere. It's happening around the world in every country. France, Germany, Austria, Belgium, the Netherlands. It's happening in Spain. It's happening in Canada. It's happening in South America. It's happening in Central America. It's happening in Australia. in New Zealand. It's happening all over the world because Biden started it. Biden started it. Incredible. Diane Cummins says crime is awful. It truly is. It truly is. She says people are afraid to go out and live their lives. My own neighbors just to the east of me don't want to go out of their homes other than to get food or buy groceries and come home. They're scared. Some of them have asked me to go with them to help protect them. I have talked to police officers this week. Police officers here in Morganton, North Carolina. They are out in full force, helping protect citizens here. And yes, there's illegals here in Morganton, North Carolina. There are illegals. I've seen them. I've seen them in the stores. I've seen them on the streets. They're here. They are in every city and every state throughout this country. It's time that you and I, no matter where you're at, stand up and help protect your country. Protect your neighborhoods. Protect your cities. We have to stand up. You and I have to stand up for what we believe in. Nobody else is going to do it for us. Nobody else is going to do it for us. One of my friends, a man that I loved and admired, he since passed away. He wrote this book, Standing for Something. William J. Bennett, who has a radio show on one of the networks on radio, said, we live in an age in which traditional beliefs have been attenuated, ridiculed, and attacked. We desperately need leaders who will defend them. And just as important, we need leaders who can explain why they are worth defending. Which is why Gordon Hinckley's book here is so valuable. Timely, intelligent, practical, and readable, Standing for Something is an important contribution to the traditional discussion. Senator Joseph Lieberman, who has since died this past year, says Gordon B. Hinckley has written a wise and inspiring book. He looks at all that ails our society and offers the most powerful cure, faith in God, and the virtues that emanate from it. Gordon Hinckley's voice in this book is prophetic and full of love. People of all religions will benefit from reading Standing for Something. And society will gain too, because this book should lead its readers to stand for something. Senator Joseph Lieberman wrote that about President Hinckley's book. Standing for Something. 10 neglected virtues that will heal our society. Standing for Something. I'm going to quote from this now. What could be more ironic? Americans doing what they can to wipe out religion from public schools, while Russians are doing what they can to revive religion in their public schools. Having been without religious freedom for most of this century, Russians apparently see the value of what they lost. Their country had been established on the principles of religious values and expression. Americans flirt with paganism, unaware of what it is like to live in an anti-religious nation. It appears the Russians have learned something from us. It also appears we have learned nothing from them. Neglect, not the cultivation of the spiritual. To do so is to eventually reap bitter fruit. Jesus Christ, the Master, made this simple but profound statement that strikes at the heart of our priorities and sense of purpose. Quote, What shall it profit a man though he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his own soul? Mark chapter 8, verses 36 and 37. We must labor for the peace that comes only as we recognize and accept and have faith in the Prince of Peace. Let us not, in our supposed sophistication and pride, our advanced learning and accomplishments, become so arrogant that we no longer feel dependence on Him, Him who is greater than all of us. When all else fails, the Lord is there to help us. He has issued a stunning invitation and promise. Quote, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest to your souls." Matthew 11, verse 28. Each of us has burdens. Each of us has challenges and confusing options. For each of us, there are days when things don't work out. But the Lord will help each one of us. The Lord will help carry our burdens and meet our challenges. To bring that about, however, we must believe. We must have faith that He has the power to help us and that we will help us as well. Jesus Christ can help us if we will but allow Him to do it. We need strength to do battle. Whether the battle against destructive habits or destructive values, or the battle about personal purity, or the battle of strengthening one's family in a world that's seemingly increasing less committed to the family. Less committed to family. This begins with enlisting the strength of God. He is the source of all true power. It is though Paul understood our day when he declared, quote, "Be strong in the Lord and the power of His might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against the rulers and the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day, having done all to stand." Ephesians chapter 6, 10 through 13. Brothers and sisters, I bear you my testimony. It is God that will save us, only after everything else that we can do. Our Lord Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Father stand there to help us if we will allow them to do it. Brothers and sisters, I urge each and every one of you, get down on your knees and pray. Get down on your knees and ask our Heavenly Father to help us. Get down on your knees and pray for your family. Pray for yourselves. Pray for me. I love you, everyone. That's why I'm here, because I care. The reason I started this channel 5.5 years ago is because there's nobody else who was talking about earthquakes at the time. Since that time, we've not just talked about earthquakes. We've talked about every major disaster that could possibly happen, man-made and natural. We've talked about other things that happen as well. We've now started teaching Sunday school as of about 4 years ago during the pandemic. And I'm not going to stop now. I've been asked to continue teaching Sunday school. Come follow me, the Savior said. Every Sunday sometime after 12 noon Eastern Time. I'd ask each one of you to join me at Sunday school on Sunday morning, just after 12 noon Eastern Time. I love you, brothers and sisters. I love you more than anything else. That is why I'm here. I'm here for each one of you. You all help support me. You help support me. You send me support in the mail. You send me support here in Super Chats. You send me support in PayPal. I appreciate that so much. As soon as this video gets finished today, within 10 minutes, below this program that you're seeing right now, you're going to see a program description. At the top of that program description, you'll also see a place where you can join this program as a member of the Emergency Management Associates team. As little as $1.99, $2.99, or $3.99 a month. You can also go to our PayPal and help support us over on PayPal. You donate whatever you can afford over on PayPal. We appreciate that. I've also given you guys my mailing address. 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code is 28655. Appreciate that so much. KT just gave us another $2 super chat. KT, thank you so much. God be with you for that. God bless you. We appreciate that so much. That helps us a lot. I've given KT an EMA sticker on her super chat and also gave her a thumbs up. Please, folks, also help us with thumbs up on our program today. Thumbs up help YouTube, will allow us YouTube to make the decision to allow other people on YouTube to see our program. Giving us a thumbs up lets YouTube know that you guys all appreciate what we do here. I appreciate that support so much. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I love you. I prove it every day for you. I ask the Lord to bless you. I ask the Lord to bless you and your families. God be with you until we meet again. We're going to try to take tomorrow off unless something major happens. If something else happens tonight or tomorrow, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow or Sunday afternoon at 12 noon with Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. We're going to be talking about the Savior Jesus Christ on Sunday. Please join us on Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. We'd appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Carol and I love you very much. God bless you. God bless you for your support. God bless you for your love for us. May God bless you today and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love.